everyone, I'm Mark from Travel Shorts. This is my daughter Holly. That's my son Matthew. And in today's video, we're probably at the most famous Neolithic site in the world, Stonehenge. So to get to Stonehenge today, I pre-booked our tickets via Get Your Guide. If you're familiar with the channel or you're a regular viewer, you know I pretty much use Get Your Guide from all our things around the world. It's really simple to do. I just went on the Get Your Guide website, chose today, so there is timed entry into Stonehenge, so I needed to pick today is the 24th of April and our timed entry is 2:30 in the afternoon. Once you make the purchase, a QR code goes straight to your phone via the Get Your Guide app, and we're just going to show that now to get inside of the Stonehenge Visitor Complex. If you are interested in getting your tickets from Get Your Guide, I'll leave a link in the description down below, and I'll also put a QR code on the screen about here. So if you just scan that QR code, you go directly to the Get Your Guide website where you can purchase tickets for Stonehenge. I'm not sure how this video today is going to turn out. I might not even upload this video, I'm not sure, just because I'm wondering how I can make an interesting video of walking around a field looking at a stone circle. But hopefully it'll be okay, and I hope you do enjoy this video. So if you do purchase your tickets via Get Your Guide, you simply go into their app, click on Stonehenge. So here's our tickets for today. Click on the thing there, and you've got the QR codes there. 3 of us, 2 children, 1 adult. And then you go to the pre-booked admissions desk right by there. Thank you. Bus journey was only about 2 or 3 minutes. Takes you from the welcome centre where we parked up to Stonehenge itself, and now there's just a very short walk to the stones. So you can see the henge here, which is the ditch that goes around the stone circle here. So those Aubrey holes that we just walked past then, there's I think 56 of them all the way around Stonehenge inside the henge part. They were discovered by an archaeologist called Aubrey, hence the name. And inside they found a number of human remains which had been buried there over many centuries, I do believe. Again, there is an audio book we could listen to, free one on the English Heritage website. Fortunately, we haven't got our headphones, so we don't want to actually play it where everybody can hear because it'd be a bit disrespectful for everybody else. But if you are interested, on the English Heritage website you can download an audio guide of Stonehenge. It's totally free by the look of it. I have got it on my phone, but we forgot our headphones. And I probably don't need to explain it, but just in case you're not that familiar why this is called Stonehenge. The henge is the ditch on the outside of the stone circle which has been dug into the ground, and it's called Stonehenge obviously because it's got the standing stones right in the centre of that henge. So we're sitting down on a bench. There's about 4 or 5 benches dotted around the site. We're just sitting down, relaxing for a little bit, and actually just listening to the audio guide really quietly as well, just to get a bit more information about the place. Which obviously, we know a little bit of information. I think everybody knows a little bit of information about Stonehenge. But then when I came to talk about it on the camera, I forgot, my mind went blank. So we're listening to the audio guide now. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm not sure how this video is going to turn out because it is, in essence, just some stones in the middle of a field. But hopefully it is informative to you guys watching this here. But yeah, So I'm going to carry on listening to the audio guide now. So there's two main types of stones that Stonehenge is actually made up of. The most iconic ones are obviously those large sarsen stones, and they were actually quarried from a place called the Marlborough Downs, about 15 miles away to the north of here. And then these smaller stones inside the circle, the blue stones, they're the ones that are really interested to us three because we're obviously Welsh and we're from Wales. So those blue stones actually came from the Preseli Hills in southwest Wales. So that would have been a huge feat to actually get those stones, which even though they're small compared with the sarsen stones, they still weigh between 2 and 3 tons each. So can you imagine thousands of years ago, those people actually brought those from South Wales. Not 100% sure how they did that. Obviously, it's probably by boat, and then they would have come up the avenue, which is behind me here, from the Avon River. But still, that's a huge feat to actually accomplish that. Even just the sarsen stones coming 15 miles away from the north. Again, back then, again, a really huge feat how that was accomplished. This stone here, right ahead of us, is called the heel stone. So the heel stone signifies the direction that sunrise comes. So midwinter's sunrise and midsummer's sunset, was it? Or might have been sunrise for both of them. Okay, so it was either sunrise or sunset. And there was even a line along the ground showing the direction that sunrise or sunset points towards the stones. So I think we've seen everything here at the monument itself. We're now going to catch the bus back to the visitor centre and have a look around the museum. So Holly wants to get the bus back. Matthew said he wouldn't mind walking, but we'll get the bus back just to save a bit of time. Some seats near the back.
Okay.
Thank you. I've just noticed on the bus as well, there's actually USB chargers in the seat, so that's really handy if you're running low on power on your phones. Looks like just like every good tourist attraction, you exit via the gift shop. So we're back at the main visitor centre now. Again, the bus journey was only about 2-3 minutes long, but it saved us the walk coming back here. Behind us here is some old Neolithic huts, I guess. So we're going to take a look at those now. So it looks like we've got, well, bed there. That will be to have a fireplace and a fire in the centre of the building. The smoke goes out. The roof up there.
How does it go out?
I don't know, normally they have a little hole, but this one doesn't.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Right.
Welcome to Stonehenge.
Thank you.
Have you been before?
I have 20 years ago. They haven't, but we've just been to the Stonehenge now.
You've done the stones.
Done that and we've come back here.
So you've been wowed by big stones.
Yeah.
Yep. And now you want to be bored rigid by me talking about Neolithic houses. Do you want a picture holding a stone axe? Do you like a picture holding a stone axe and wearing a goat skin thingy? No.
No, just a stone axe,
Just a stone
maybe.
axe. Do you want to have a napped flint one, or do you want to have a green stone axe, or would you like to hold both?
Both.
They're heavy. Don't drop them.
So
If you stand over there against the skins, that'll be a nicer backdrop, I think.
That's right.
Actually,
It's
I've
well.
done this before. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there we go.
Do you want a photo as well?
Yeah.
Go
Of course he does.
No, you do. Do you want to wear the goat skin? No.
No, just the axe. There we go.
And I think you need to look mean as well.
On a mean photo.
That's not mean. So, do you want me to tell you about some of the bits in here?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I'm holding some of the bits in here.
Got flint
So,
axes.
right, we have got a knapped flint axe, okay? So that is made out of what we're standing on, which is chalk, yeah?
Yep.
So this is the inside bit. These are the bodies of the skeletons of ancient sea creatures. So this ancient chalk sea goes from here all the way down to the White Cliffs of Dover and beyond. Don't forget that this is 80 million years ago. So the UK, imagine it tilted a bit. We're joined up to Europe and we're all further north. We've drifted a bit. So 80 million, it's amazing, isn't it, to think that's 80 million years. You get a different kind of stone. Oh, you hit it and you can make a flint axe in about an hour. This one that you were holding as well, this one comes from the Lake District. And this is a green stone. It really is green. And I know I'm a volunteer, but it is a thing of beauty. You can't really see it in here. That takes, you use sand to polish it. It takes about 60 hours. Okay, so it makes it stronger, a process which I cannot comprehend. But it also removes the friction. So as a tool, it's not knobbly. So it's actually a better tool. So it's more efficient. So you've got other things in here as well. So we've got things like this. So you've got deer antler. These have been found at the bottom of the ditch that circles around. Yeah, exactly. You've done the exhibition, so you probably see that they're digging tools. Yeah. Yes. So do you want to hold that for me? Actually, didn't really hold it. Yeah. No, not keen. Okay. So then you've got things like this. So this is the shoulder blade of an animal, probably a cow. I'm not quite sure. It could be a deer, but it's a shovel. Okay. Yeah, which is quite clever. The message is that they used everything. They didn't throw anything away, even right down to a bit of bone that you were munching for lunch. Get a stone and you sharpen it and shape it. Get a bit of wood. You've now got a hammer and chisel. You've got some bones from lunch again. You can make things like this. This is an awl. We call an awl for making holes in leather so that you can sew. Or maybe you want a bone needle for something. You can make them in any shape or size that you want for whatever job it is that you want. So they were making things like that. I mean, they're just tools of the trade, really. They were hunting. I'll show you a bit about hunting. Here we go. So, amazingly, they were using longbows. Some people are quite surprised. A half of a yew bow was found in a bog in Somerset in the early 1960s, and they determined the height of the original bow, which is the height of a person plus a hand. This tells us that the original bow and its owner were tall. If you are continually malnourished, typically you're going to be on the shorter side. Obviously not. They were eating a lot of protein. They were eating lots of vegetables and plant roots and leaves, and they were using the hedgerows for all the fare that comes from hedgerows, whether it's from mushrooms or sloes or wild cherries or, blackberries, lovely, all sorts of things. They were eating a wide range of animals, including fish, of course. This is a fish trap. So, they made these in the Neolithic. It's missing a bit. It should have an inner bit. Yeah. But a really efficient tool for catching fish. So anyway, the bow, lots of upper body strength to pull a bow like that. You've got things like this. These are the arrows that they would have used. Forget about them. They're a little bit tatty down that end. But you've got knapped flint arrowheads. This is the leaf shape. If you shoot an animal with that, it's going to drop out, unfortunately. But you stick a barb on it at the bottom, that's going to stay in. And the truth is, you expend a lot of calories hunting. And so you need to be as efficient as possible. And meat was a primary source of food. So they needed to get it right. Because some of the things that they were chasing, if you get it wrong, are going to turn around and start chasing you instead. So you don't want that. They were hunting things like wild boar. It's about 100 kilos. They've got those really wicked tusks on. Don't want to get those impaled on, get anywhere near them. They were hunting deer, obviously, and there have been a range of other animals. But the biggest one they hunted was an auroch. Have you come across an auroch before? No? So an auroch was effectively a wild bull, wild cattle, had amazingly long legs. So as you can see, it's got these absolutely enormous horns. 180 centimetres to the shoulder, says she, exaggerating a bit. 800 kilos in weight, and the last one died in a Polish forest in 1627. So that's about the last link we ever had with the Neolithic. But from a Neolithic point of view, if you manage to kill one of those, you are feeding the community. That's a lot of food. You've got the meat, you've got the skins from which you can make a huge range of different things. You've got the bones, you've got the marrow from the bones. The bones, we've already said, you can use for a wide range of tools. And the skins, you've got clothes. So, you've got things like this. Yeah. So you could, I'm not saying they did wear them. They could have worn jerkins. These is trousers. Yeah, you tie them on at the waist. No zips, no elastic. And behind you here, we've got goat skins. They weren't hunting goats, but they were wearing goat skins for warmth or for bedding. On the door here, we know that they were making textiles. This is made from stinging nettles. Yeah. And the other one behind you is made from flax. So this is effectively linen. So we know that they were wearing things like that. And they were wearing shoes. So you've got shoes like this. So it's a simple piece of leather, as I say. If you need it, they have a way of doing it. It's just a simple piece of leather that's been sewn up. It's got a rudimentary heel. That actually, as a shoe, is going to do quite well. And I think if you looked at pictures of people in the medieval, I'll bet you they'd find shoes similar to that. Then, it just occurred to me. So that's a simple shoe. A more advanced shoe would be something like this, which is made from a leather base. You've got Sika deer, and inside it's back to the same kind of idea of using plant material, cordage, to make an inner framework like that. And this is based on a gentleman called Ötzi the Iceman, who was found on the Italian-Austrian Alps, and he was busy defrosting. He's contemporary to the Neolithic, so we know what kind of clothes he was wearing. I think they knew what he'd been eating.
They did. They knew the contents of his stomach.
Yeah, exactly. He'd been murdered, poor chap. Anyway, this is not quite the same as his shoe, but it's a very near approximation of the kind of things that they were wearing. I think it looks rather comfy, don't you? So there you are. They were clothed, they were well fed, they were living in a Mediterranean climate. It was not cold 5,000 years ago. So yeah, they were doing quite well.
That's great.
You've got the food, you've got the pots, you've got the beds, and at the end of an extremely long day, when you are absolutely knackered, somebody has got a bit of bone, and they put a bit of wax, of beeswax in the top there, I should say. They've made some holes, and they've made a little whistle, just to make a little bit of a tune. I'm not going to blow it, because it's quite disgusting. So yes, so there you go.
That's great.
Is there anything you'd like to know about the houses that I haven't told you about yet? Quite happy to tell you anything you want.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very informative. Thanks.
Okay.
So that English heritage volunteer inside the hut there was really, really informative. It was very interesting actually listening to her speak about the old tools and how they were actually made out of antler bones, any old bones, making leather for clothing, even flaxseed to make linen, which I wasn't even, you can make flaxseed, and nettles, actually making clothing out of stinging nettles. Again, something I've never known. Did you know that, Matthew? No. Did you know you could? Yeah, imagine maybe if whatever process they do to it would stop it stinging. But did you know you can make clothes out of stinging nettles, Holly? No. So this hut here is where they'd keep the livestock. So you see this fence here. So they probably had some chickens, maybe a pig, maybe even 2 pigs in there. Got to keep it safe so it doesn't run off. Okay, very similar to the other one. So you got a bed each side. So behind us here is a sarsen stone on a rack. So it must be simulating how it's probably dragged up to the stone circle. So let's go and have a look at that, shall we? So it says, can we move the stone? I think no. Did you move it? So just for reference, this stone is fake. You can hear it's hollow. It's probably just a plaster cast of one of the sarsen stones over on the main monument. So now we've seen the main monument, we've seen the Neolithic houses, recreation behind us, we've seen the sarsen stone on that rack. We're now going to go into the visitor complex and the museum. Oh yeah, there's a face, isn't there? It's got two of my favourite travel destinations there. You got Easter Island and you've got Peru, from Machu Picchu in Peru. So this is an interesting display. It shows how Stonehenge appeared over the years. So it started off 5,000 years ago, just this enclosure with a henge around it. And the Aubrey pillars, so they were those holes that we saw dug in the ground earlier. So there's 56 of those inside the henge. And 4,500 years ago, that's when they started to build the inner enclosure with these stone circles. The blue stones, the sarsen stones.
What are those things?
What? Which ones? Those?
No.
Those ones?
Yeah.
I'm going to assume those are the blue stones, so they're the ones that came from South Wales.
Which ones?
The smaller ones. So the sarsens were the ones from just down the road, 15 miles away, so the big ones. And then the smaller ones are the blue stones that came from South Wales. And you can see here, this is where so that's the heel stone that we saw. That's the
Slaughter stone.
Yeah, slaughter stone. So that's where the solstice came, where the sunrise and sunset was. It would come on this line here and go through there and go through there. I'm not sure what these are.
Stones.
Yeah, they are stones. And this is what Stonehenge looks like today. So I think this one's even smaller than the Spinal Tap Stonehenge. Inside joke for anybody my age.
Spinal Tap.
Yeah, you don't know what that is, do you? No. So that was the museum section of the attraction. Really interesting, showed the history of Stonehenge, how it was originally built, who built it, and some artifacts that they found buried around the area. See what they've got, shall we? So we've just come for a really quick look around the cafe, see if there's anything we fancy before we leave.
Sandwich.
So sandwiches are £5.25. Salad, mango wrap, £5.50. Some hot sandwiches, ciabattas for $5.95. Iced coffee $4.50. Okay, cans of Sprite are £2.40. I think. Shall we go?
Yeah.
Yeah. You ready to go, Holly? Yeah. Pasty, sausage rolls, and soup of the day. Some airmen died here in 1912, Holly. And that Airman's Cross commemorates them dying on the spot. So I think that's going to end our time here at Stonehenge. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I did purchase our tickets today from Get Your Guide. Not sponsored by them, but I do use Get Your Guide for our travels around the world. So if you are interested in getting your tickets via Get Your Guide, there'll be a link in the description down below, like I said, and also scan the QR code on screen here to go directly to their website. And one thing I did mention when we were actually by Stonehenge is I would recommend downloading the English Heritage audio guide for Stonehenge. We did do that in advance, but unfortunately we forgot our headphones. So, hold on, I've got to find our car as well. Oh, the car's over by there, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So, like I said, we did download it beforehand, but then we forgot to bring our headphones. So we did listen to it quietly on one of the benches. So just check out the App Store, look for English Heritage or Stonehenge Audio Guide. It should come up and you can download that. And for reference, this is the car park. The car park's not free. We did have to pay £3, and that was done via scanning a QR code and going onto a website, saying the location and paying online. I didn't see anywhere else you could actually pay for the car park in the shop or in the admission booths, so you need to scan that QR code to pay for your car parking, enter your car registrations, and that's it. So £3 for parking on top of the ticket price to go to Stonehenge. So we're back at the car. I think we're going to end this video here. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. It's really appreciated. If you're new here, my name's Mark, along with my daughter Holly, son Matthew. We make travel and theme park videos from around the world. Now here's Holly with a very special message.
If you like this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. Bye!
Bye! And one last thing, just before I finish off this video, we've come 8 minutes drive down the road to Woodhenge, which is behind me here. If you don't know what Woodhenge is, it's basically the same thing as Stonehenge, but made out of wood. It's behind me here. Obviously, the wood has rotted over the 4,500 years before it was actually found. So this was actually discovered in 1925 through aerial photography, where they looked down, looked at the photographs, and they could see round circles on the floor, small little round circles all on the ground. And after close excavations, discovered that 2500 BC, there was actually a henge made of wood here. What we see now are concrete posts where all of those... Oh, there's a helicopter flying over us, over by there somewhere. So I bet they're going to get a good view of Stonehenge. But like I was saying, these concrete posts are actually where the Woodhenge used to be. So they're dotted around everywhere. And we're going to take a little look now. So it looks like you can just see the indentation there, probably the ditch where the henge part was. And then you've got, I'm not sure how many posts are inside here. It looks like how many, 3 concentric circles maybe, as well as extras.
Yeah, it's big ones.
Yeah, so the big ones are here. And we've got some stone right in the very center. It looks like this probably said something about the monument, but it's no longer here. Here's a good view of the whole site here, and you can see the curvature of the outer ring going around there, all the way around to there. And that's where it could have potentially looked like. And that was it, a very quick look around Woodhenge. Again, thanks for watching this video, much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one.